الكتاب في يتامى النساء اللاتي لا توتونهن ما كتب لهن وترغبون أن تنكحوهن والمستضعفين من الولدان وأن تقوموا لليتامى بالقسط وما تفعلوا من خير فإن الله كان به عليما وإن امرأة خافت من بعلها نشوزا أو إعراضا فلا جناح عليهما أن يصالحا بينهما صلحا والصلح خير وأحضرت الأنفس الشح وإن تحسنوا وتتقوا فإن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا ولن تستطيعوا أن تعدلوا بين النساء ولو حرصتم فلا تميلوا كل الميل فتذروها كالمعلقة وإن تصلحوا وتتقوا فإن الله كان غفورا رحيما وإن يتفرقا يغن الله كلا من سعته وكان الله واسعا حكيما ما في السماوات وما في الأرض ولقد وصينا الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم وإياكم أن اتقوا الله وإن تكفروا فإن لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وكان الله غنيا حميدا ولله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وكفى بالله وكيلا إن يشأ يذهبكم أيها الناس ويأتي بآخرين وكان الله على ذلك قديرا من كان يريد ثواب الدنيا فعند الله ثواب الدنيا والآخرة وكان الله سميعا بصيرا.
MashaAllah, that was a wonderful recitation from our Hafiza Fatima Nazir of Ahmad Bello University. MashaAllah, we are really enjoying your recitation. May Allah continue to bless your life. Inshallah, today we are going to stop, we are going to continue from where we stopped. This is going to be our fourth session. You know how things are here in Nigeria. The light is off. So inshallah, we are going to continue from where we stopped yesterday. And today's class, inshallah, is also going to be quite interesting. Okay. So we stopped at case 25 yesterday, and today we are going to continue from there. we have delegated marriage and inheritance. This is where we are going to continue today, inshallah. So, as you can see, we are in case 25, which is delegated marriage and inheritance, which we call nikahut tafwid. There is something we call nikahut tafwid, where the marriage is delegated and the dowry is not given on time. It's based on the agreements they made between them. So this is what we are going to treat today. So delegated marriage, which we call nikah tafwid, is and it has different classifications. There is a situation whereby the dowry is unspecified. The dowry is unspecified. That is the first one. In a delegated marriage, that is nikah tafwid, where the dowry is not specified at the time of the contract, the marriage becomes fully established upon the wife's consent to an amount decided by the husband. Richie, what we are seeing here is that yes, we agree that the husband, maybe he don't have the money, he have too much responsibilities now. Then he agreed with the wife that, oh, my dear, I'm going to give you 200,000 2 weeks after the marriage. You can see this is an agreement that they made between themselves. So this amount should be equal to the customary dowry for women of her status. From what we said yesterday, that each and every woman that you know has her own status. That whenever she is seen, we can easily say that yes, this woman, her status can reach so amount. So in the Nikah with Tafwid, you have to give her something of her status. You cannot give her something below her status. So we have to take care of this. Then we have alternative dowry specifications, whereby the dowry may be established if the husband agrees to the amount specified by the wife or her guardian. What we are saying here is very simple. Here, it is not the husband that is going to say, look, this is what I'm going to give you. But it is the wife that is going to propose to the husband that me, I need only 2 million naira or I need only $500 as my dowry. So if the husband feels like, oh, I can afford this, I can give her this, then fine. And if he feels that he cannot give, then we have to go back to a reconciliation state, which we are going to treat also today, inshallah. So we have divorce before dowry establishment, before consummation. If the husband divorces the wife before the dowry is established, and before consummation, don't forget that we are speaking or we are talking about nikah with tafwid, which the dowry is not yet specified, and that is how the marriage was contracted. That the dowry is going to be given later in the upcoming days. So here, as you can see, if the husband divorces the wife before the dowry is established and before consummation, no dowry is due. This is part of the conditions that we need to know, that whenever there is no consummation, then dowry is not going to take place. However, inheritance rights are still established if he is to die before divorce or before dowry establishment. These are all things that we already know about them. So we have entitlement to dowry. If consummation occurs, the wife is entitled to the customary dowry. We have something we call customary dowry, which is maharul misli. Maharul misli is the customary dowry, or you can say a status dowry. We look at the status of the wife and said that yes, this wife can reach 300,000, she can reach 500,000. So we look at that and we specify this dowry to her. So this is what we call maharul misli, that is customary dowry, or we call it status dowry. Okay, now arbitration marriage and nikah at tahkim, a marriage where the dowry specification is delegated to someone other than the spouses. Okay, in the arbitration marriage, it is neither the husband nor the wife who is going to specify or propose the dowry, but the dowry is going to be proposed or specified by a third party. They are the ones who are going to agree on a specified dowry and it must be paid for. So, in case of disagreement regarding the dowry or other matters, arbitration is used to resolve the issue, similar to procedures in delegated marriages. What we are saying here is very clear. This is the situation whereby the husband said, "Look, my wife, I can only afford to give you 250,000 because the ladies or the women in your state and in your local government does not used to be given are not to be given something above this." But she claimed that no, you cannot give me 250,000 because this marriage is already agreed that the dowry is going to take place after the marriage and after consummation. So if it is not before consummation, then they can separate the marriage and everyone can take his leave. But now that there is consummation and they refuse to agree on one value or one agreed amount, then an arbitration is going to take place whereby there will be some delegated people which are going to agree on a decision and that decision is upheld. Then that means that decision must be followed. Okay. If not, the wife has the option to either divorce or accept the customary dowry. In the situation whereby the arbitration, okay, here the wife said that she wants 500,000 and the husband said that he can only afford 300,000, then the arbitration decision agreed on that. See, look, since you said 500,000 and she said 300,000, let's agree on 400,000. So this is left, the decision is left to the wife or the husband. If the wife said that no, I cannot collect anything less than 500,000, then she has the chance to divorce the marriage. If she don't want the marriage to be divorced, then she should accept a customary dowry. That means that we are going to look at her status, we are going to look at her family, we are going to look at the state she comes from and the local government she is from, the qualities she has. Does she has a degree? Does she memorizes the Quran? How many books of hadith has she memorized? Then we look at this and said, no, look, with this, the qualities you have, you will not be more than 400,000. And this is what is going to be agreed based on the customary dowry. If she accepts that, then fine. And if she refuses, then she has to take a divorce option and she have to leave. And that's all. So this is very important. That's why maybe it is better just for you to agree before even the marriage, so that if he mention any amount that is not quite well with you, then you can claim that you don't want that. So that is case 25, and here we are in case 26. Now, case 26 uh, is ruling on maintenance. When we say maintenance, that is nafaka. When we are talking about nafaka, we are not just referring to feeding a wife or or giving her other things, but it is based on maintenance. Anything that a wife needs should be given to her. So we have here maintenance and marital responsibilities. Part of it, we have obligation. We have obligation of maintenance. Obligation of maintenance. Here we have upon consummation or invitation. Maintenance becomes obligatory upon consummation of the marriage or when the wife invites him, provided they has reached poverty and is capable of intercourse. What are we trying to say here? Whenever you marry a woman, maybe you are staying in China and she stays in Nigeria, before consummation, it is not mandatory for you to feed her. Please, let's take this. This is very important. Before consummation, her maintenance is not necessary on you. But whenever there is consummation, or when the wife invites you to a secured place between you and her, then from that place, we don't care whether anything happens or not. We don't care. From that situation, then you have to start taking care of her maintenance. Okay, so that is one. Number two, determination of maintenance. How do we determine the maintenance of a woman? We have to consider based on her social status. What is this social status that we are talking about? The amount of maintenance is determined by the wife's social status. The judge estimates an amount that covers her basic needs. What we are trying to say here is that uh, a woman you marry from Abuja might not be necessary the same with the woman that you take from a village, because that woman that you take from Abuja, maybe she takes her breakfast with the chips and indomie and other things, while the one from the village take things like danwake and rogo. So you know, you can see the maintenance is not the same, but you cannot pick someone from a house, from a big house, and just you come and downgrade her to the lower status when you have the capacity to take care of the higher status, in the sense that she used to eat rice and beans and good stew in her house, but here that she is taken to your house, you are not giving her a good food, you are not giving her the food that is going to build her body. And in the situation whereby you have the capacity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لِيُنْفِقُ ذُو سَعَةٍ مِنْ سَعَتِهِ وَمَنْ قُدِرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقُهُ فَلْيُنْفِقْ مِمَّا آتَاهُ اللَّهُ. That when you have the capacity, then you should do your best. But in the situation when you don't have the capacity to give her the best food or to give her what she used to eat in her father's house, then you do your best. But what we are trying to say here is that you should not go beyond your capacity. You have the capacity to give her a food with meat, but you downgrade her to be giving her food without meat. So this is not right. You have to consider her status and see that yes, this is what she is eating from her house. Then you keep her in that place so that you shouldn't downgrade her. So this is based on her social status. Okay, now we have a provision of additional assistance. This is very important. You know, marriage is being built based on love, care, and assistance. It's not something that is more at normal. It should be more of enjoyment, showing care and concern, showing love, and other important things. But it is not good to marry a woman after she spent 1 year in your house, and her father or her family will have to face difficulty before they can recognize her. This is not good. When you are being married to a lady, then let's see changes in her. Let you not downgrade her to the lower part, please. So that is, it is important to provide additional assistance, because maybe in her house she don't use to wash her clothes, she don't use to iron her clothes, she don't use to do the washing of the plates. Don't go and marry a woman who do not do all these kind of things and try to force her in your house, that trying to tell her, hey, look, this, you should know that you are not in your father's house, you are now in my house, then you have to wash plates, you have to be washing my clothes. You know, it is all that should be part of something which is willingly, and not something that is mandatory. It is not a mandate that when you marry a woman, that it is mandatory for you to ask her that she must wash your clothes or something else. What we are trying to say is that in Islam, marriage is not like between emancipator and his slave. No, it is something between two partners, even though one is higher in rank than the other one, which is the man. الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا. Yes, the man is the superior, but him being the superior does not mean that he is going to turn his wife to a slave. Your wife's supposed to be a friend sometimes to you. Sometimes she should be a student to you. Sometimes you should take her as your daughter. You know, you cannot let something bad to get to your daughter. So treat your wife with care and love, and she is not a slave to you. So please do the best you think you can do in treating her. So if you have the capacity, please provide an additional assistance for her. If you can get a housemaid for her, then it is good. The one that will be taking care of washing the plates, sweeping the house, and other things. But this does not give the woman the authority or the permissibility to say that, see, I cannot cook for you. I cannot wash plates. I'm not going to sweep the house. This is not what I used to do in my house. No, you have to obey the rules of your husband. You have to abide by the regulations he set. When he asks you to do something, as far as it does not collide with the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you have to do it. This is what keeps a marriage alive between a husband and wife. So it is very important that we should understand this, that marriage is being built based on love and it is not slavery. So please, the men should take care of this. So for future of maintenance, discourse of nushuz. Maintenance is forfeited if the wife displays discourse, that is nushuz, except in cases of legitimate excuse, imprisonment, or the husband's travel. What are we trying to say here? In the situation whereby your wife started to misbehave, started to show some kind of habits which are not normal, that is what we call nushuz. If you go back if you go back to the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَإِنِ امْرَأَةٌ خَافَتْ مِنْ بَعْلِهَا نُشُوزًا أَوْ إِعْرَادًا. No. Subhanallah, where is the verse? وإن امرأة خافت من بعلها نشوزا أو إعراضا فلا جناح عليهما أن يصالحا أو أن يصلح بينهما صلح والصلح خير. Like when the husband, I still try to recall one verse. من نشوزهن سبحان الله. Someone should help me with the verse, please. The verse is not coming anymore. Is there no Quran memorizers in the group?
وإن امرأة كافت من بعدها نشوزا أو إعراضا فلا جناح عليهما أن يصلحا بينهما صلحا والصلح خير وأحضرت الأنفس الشح.
Yes, that is one of the verses. وإن امرأة خافت من بعلها نشوزا أو إعراضا فلا جناح عليهما أن يصلحا بينهما صلحا. Yes, the other one I'm trying to remind. The other one I want to recite is الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم فالصالحات قانتات حافظات للغيب بما حفظ الله واللاتي تخافون نشوزهن فعزوهن واهجروهن في المضاجع واضربوهن فإن أطعنكم فلا تبغوا عليهن سبيلا إن الله كان عليا كبيرا. That if they start to misbehave to you, you should warn them, you should give them someone that, look, my wife, stop doing these things that you are doing to me. If they refuse to do wahjuruhunna fil madaji, you should separate beds with them. And if they continue fadribuhunna, you should get to the next step, which we are going to treat in the subsequent part. So when a wife tries to misbehave to you, she try to show nothing concern her with you, then you can take part of the punishment. You can refuse her maintenance. You can tell her that, see, since now you are thinking that you are on your own, you are not following my rules and regulation, then I'm not going to feed you. Go and feed yourself. So when she tries to misbehave, then this is part of the discipline you can do to her. So we have separation due to inability to provide. The wife has the option to separate from her husband if he is unable to provide for her. But this option does not apply if she married him knowing of his poverty. This case is very important. What we are trying to say here is that you know how life is all about. You may have something today and tomorrow you don't have it anymore. So if you marry a husband, he is a civil servant, he is a marketer or anything else, and in the first year, he used to provide food for you 3 meals a day. In the second year, things try to get bad, 2 meals a day. In the third year, 1 meal a day. In the fourth year, he is not able to provide food for you. And maybe if you have the money, you have the capacity, you can continue taking care of you and your husband. But in the situation whereby you feel like, see, I cannot continue to take care of myself and take care of my husband, he's supposed to feed me, he's supposed to take all the maintenances for me, but now I'm the one doing this, I'm the one doing for the children, I'm the one doing for him. You can sit with him, like, see, madam, so person, uh, this maintenance that you are seeing, is you that's supposed to take care of it. Now that you cannot continue to provide maintenance because you are jobless or you don't have anything, I'm very sorry, I cannot continue staying with you. So you cannot come and abuse her or call her with all sort of names ko ka ce mata ba ta da mutunci, or all other things. It is maintenance he cannot provide now, then you cannot continue to sit with him. But if you feel like you can continue taking care of him, this is the best we wish for you. But if you feel like you cannot continue, then your decision is right, and it is aligning with the Islamic perspective as far as Islamic law is concerned. So we have divorce and reconciliation. In this case, as you can see, if she chooses to separate, she is granted a revocable divorce. That means he is going to divorce her one divorce. The husband's ability to take her back depends on his financial improvement or her consent. So whenever he has money or he got a new job, then he can take his wife back. But if he continues to say like that and she spent her 3 months, that is the waiting period, and he is not able to provide for her, then she is now free for the market. Another person can marry her again. So the fifth one is accommodation, suitable housing. The husband is responsible for providing suitable accommodation for the wife. So that is what he's going to do. It is not the wife that is going to provide an accommodation for the husband. But if she feels like she has a house whereby they can squat there, then fine. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her. But in the situation whereby she said that she cannot do that, then you cannot call her with all sorts of names. Service and protection, this is the wife's obligation. The wife is obligated to serve her husband in a manner appropriate to her status and to protect his honor and property. You see, when we are talking about marriage, there are things which are very important that we need to put into consideration. You see, you have to based on your status, no matter your status, which you happens to be, if you are the daughter of the president and the husband is a wheelbarrow pusher, as far as you are his wife, you have to obey his rules. As far as it does not come in disagreement with the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to follow his ruling. So you have to follow his ruling unless if it is something that is in disagreement with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you have to protect his honor and property. You should not, just because your husband is rich enough or he has many things he provide for you, he don't check on the food he bring for you, that will give you the opportunity just to be coming and be taking out his food, taking out his right and spaghetti and giving to your colleagues. This is haram and this is wrong, please. So unless the husband give you that opportunity, unless you can only do that with her consent. If it is not with the husband's consent, then what you are doing is haram. So please don't do that. Don't do that. So we have relocation and travel. The husband has the right to relocate his wife and travel with her, provided she is safe and travel well. So if the husband wish, he can travel with his wife, and if he wish, he may not choose to travel with her. So please, if he said he is not traveling with you, don't get angry. It is not mandatory, because in most cases now the husband is working in Abuja and the wife is sitting in Zaria. So he don't have option. If you don't have the capacity to keep her in Abuja, then he has to leave her in Zaria. So don't say that I must follow him. Case 27 is fair distribution of time and rights among wives. You see, obligation of equal time allocation. This is the situation whereby you have two wives or more. As you can see, if you have two wives or more, there is additional responsibilities on you that you have to find a way to fulfill them. Now, you can see obligation of equal time allocation. This is very important. The husband must fairly divide time amongst his wives, regardless of their status, slave, non-Muslim, or any valid excuse preventing conjugal relations. So you can see here very clearly that when you have two wives, you have to agree with them that, look, my wives, because first thing you need to know is that the minimum days you are going to share with them is one day. If this wife A said that you cannot go to my other wife and spend 2 days with her, then she has the right for that. She can claim that every after one day you have to come back. So here is that the minimum is 1 day, unless if you want to share it to 2 days, which is normally done in our customary something, then you agree with the wives and said like, look, wife A and B, please allow me to be distributing the rights among you 2 days. If they agree on that, fine. If even they choose to agree of one month, fine. So it's based on the agreement you have with them. So each wife should receive 1 day and 1 night of the husband time minimum. You can see they can, however, agree on two days and night or more. If the husband is ill, he should stay with the wife where the sickness got him down. But here, if the sickness got him down in wife's A room, after 2 days, let them get a wheelchair and take him to wife B, unless if one of the wives forfeited her days and said, let him continue to stay there. There, it happens with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which he continues to stay with Aisha. Financial expenditure. The husband may favor some wives with greater financial support, provided the intention is not to cause harm or injustice, e.g., the first wife has 10 children while the second has 3, their spendings cannot be the same. I can see that this thing is very clear. This wife A, has 10 children, wife B has 3 children. Then if you give that 1 tier of rice, this you can give her half tier of rice. Don't say that I must give both of them one tiers of rice. But for the case whereby you bought a chicken for the other one, then this you have to buy a chicken for her also. But in the situation maybe whereby uh, uh, one of the wives is a city lady, maybe all she's interested is in chips and other things and salad, and the other one is not. If maybe she eats salad, she is going to vomit it because she is not used to it, then you buy zogala for her as far as she agreed with that. But your intention should not be that you are trying to cheat one of them. So please don't quote me wrong and said that I asked one to be given salad and chips while the other one should be given zogala and omaki. It's based on what they prefer. So we have housing arrangement whereby the husband must not house all his wife in the same domicile without their consent. Look, as someone who is trying to get married for the second wife, you want to take a second wife. Dama, what we are expecting that before you take a second wife, you are already have the full capacity. You are ready to do that. So in this case, you are not allowed to just come and combine two of your wives in one room or one parlor, 2 rooms. No, you have to seek for their consent. You have to ask the first wife, like, look, madam, my dear, I'm going to take a second wife. I'm very sorry. You have to exercise patience. This comes without me intending to take for the second wives, but it is just a qaddara from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I don't have any option. You can tell her all the kind of stories, but The main important thing is that you cannot just come and combine her in the same house with the first wife, but you have to ask that, look, can you stay with the second wife here? In most cases, you will know that they will say that they cannot. So if you have another house, you take her there. And if you don't have any house, then you go and get her a rented apartment and keep her there. But you should not come and combine your wives in the same house unless if it is different apartments. Then, when traveling, the husband should draw lots to decide which wife will accompany him. He can equally make it a round thing. So, this is very important. I'm going to Saudi this year. I can decide to say that I'm going to go with the first wife, and next year let me go with the second wife. But if they think that they will not agree, or you are trying to deceive them, or you are trying to show love to one of them, then let it be a lot, a game of lots. Then you throw it up, and anyone who chooses a travel, you should travel with her. And the one who chooses to sit at home, she can sit at home and continue crying. So this is not your fault, and it is based on lots. Then we have special cases. For a virgin wife, the husband should spend 7 consecutive nights with her. So the first wife have to exercise patience for that 7 days. While for a previous married woman, that is the Sayyid, he should spend 3 nights with her before resuming to regular rotation. After the 3 days, then you come and sit with them and agree on how many days you are going to be changing with them. There is no requirement to compensate other wives for the missed time during this period. Okay, when she went to somewhere else, she went to a wedding ceremony and it comes to be in her night, we don't care. She cannot come and claim that they must pay her back her days. Who asked her to go there? We don't care, and she's not going to be compensated. Voluntary waivers. So, if a wife voluntarily waives her night to the husband, let's understand this very important. To the husband, without specifying another wife, then the husband has discretion on how to use the night without any obligation to allocate to a co-wife. Okay? Here, she gives her night to the husband that he can allocate to any of his wives. Maybe because she has in her menstrual cycles or something, or she is not well. So he can decide to give to any of his wives. But in the situation whereby the wife specify a co-wife, she specified someone, then the husband must honor her request and allocate the night to the specified co-wife. Maybe because maybe the wives are three. You know, if there are three, in most cases, you will find out that two of them have collided in one place and they separate another wife here. So, among these two wives, one donated her night to the other wife, then it must be given. It must be given to that wife. That husband cannot come and tell us that this is the wife you want to give. He cannot do that, please. So, this is very important, and should we take this into consideration? Intercourse and consent, the husband is not obliged to engage in intercourse unless desired, provided that no harm or injustice is intended. We don't care on whatever the husband is going to do in wife's A room or wife's B room, as far as not trying to cause harm or injustice to the wives, then we don't care. There is no time division obligation for a bond woman. In her own case, she is a slave, then there is no time to be allocated for her. Case 28, regulations on coitus interruptus and family planning. So, al-azlu, coitus interruptus or withdrawal during intercourse is a practice where the husband withdraws before ejaculation to prevent conception. Islamic law regulates this practice with specific rules. If you have been married to a free wife, you have to seek for her consent. So it's very important. We have the requirement that the husband must not practice this coitus interruptus with a free wife without her explicit consent. Scenario: if your husband wants to use this azlu that we are saying to avoid pregnancy, he must first seek the wife's agreement. For example, if a husband unilaterally decides to use this method, without informing or obtaining consent from his wife, that is, he agrees alone to do that, this act is considered unjust and may be contested by the wife. So, this is similar to the wife's case because let me be very clear with you. You can see this, we are even talking about the husband who takes the full authority of the child. He take the full responsibility, not authority, the full responsibility of the child. But here they said that he has to seek the consent of the wives. But now our wives of today, most of them used to do this family planning without the consent of the husband, which is very wrong and it is haram. So it is wrong. You cannot do family planning without the consent of your husband. You have to inform your husband before doing that. We don't care what are your reasons. You have to seek for the consent of your husband. If the reason is due to sickness or something else, after seeking his husband his consent and he refuses, then you take him to the best place he should be taken to. Maybe you should report him to his parents, or if you should report him to your parents, and let them set a committee who are going to discuss on this. But you should not do this without the consent of your husband, which this is what our wives are used to in nowadays, which is very wrong and it is haram. Please, wives of today should take care of this and they should not do that without the consent of their husbands. So, consent for a bond woman, that is a slave woman, this azlu that we are talking about requires the consent of her master. Before you do that to her, you need to seek the consent of her master. As a result of this practice, is attributed to the husband. So, this is for the case of a bond woman, which her distance is not much more. Then family planning and consent, as you can see, permit Islamic teachings permit family planning, but emphasize mutual consent between spouses. So, example, a couple discussing birth control options should mutually agree on the method used. If they decide to use a particular form of contraception, it should be based on mutual understanding and agreement, reflecting respect and cooperation in their marital relationship. Prohibition: it is not allowed for a wife to be planning without the consent of her husband for any reason whatsoever. See the word the author used here. For any reason whatsoever. Whatsoever is your reason, you are not allowed to do family planning without the consent of your husband. Please, let's take care of this. Case 29, child legitimacy in Islamic law. In Islamic law, the legitimacy of a child born to a married couple is a significant concern, especially when disputes arise. Okay. Now, wife's claim versus husband assertion. Rule: if a wife claims that a child is theirs and the husband asserts that the husband is bastard, that the child was not born from an illicit relation, then the wife's claim takes precedence. What do we mean here? Okay, let's see the scenario. If a wife gives birth to a child and the husband disputes that the child's legitimacy, claiming that the child is not his but was found elsewhere, the wife's claim of the child's legitimacy is upheld. This ensures that the child is recognized as the legitimate offspring of the marriage and inherits rights accordingly. What we are saying here is that as far as you are married to someone, as far as you are married to someone, we don't care where you get your pregnancy from. Is it from his house? Is it from outside? What we are interested in is that that child is his child. Al-waladu lil firashi walil ahiri al-hajar. That a son follows marriage. Whenever there is marriage between you and him, then that child is considered your own. Unless if you did not agree, then you go to the next step, which is li'an, and we are going to treat that. But as far as concerned, it is your child. So you cannot tell us that he is not your child. So, example of dispute resolution here we have a scenario: a wife gives birth while married, and the husband disputes that the child's paternity, claiming it was from an affair. So, the legal ruling is that the child is still considered the husband's offspring, maintaining the child's rights within the family structure unless clear evidence of another paternity exists. If a couple practice coitus interruptus and the wife becomes pregnant, if there is a dispute, the child is legally recognized as husband unless clear evidence of another paternity exists. So whether you are doing coitus interruptus and your wife got pregnant, then still the child is your own. Here we have of marital conduct. In Islamic marital conduct, there are guidelines that regulate both the rights and responsibilities of spouses, ensuring mutual respect, fairness, and justice. Here we have prohibition of anal intercourse. Master's right with concubine. A concubine must present evidence of any wrongdoing, and her master retains the right to enjoy her as he wishes, except for engaging in anal intercourse. This we are trying to explain about the emancipator and his slave. He has the right to do whatever he wishes with her, except the engaging in anal intercourse, which is prohibited. Disciplinary measures: if a person engages in anal intercourse, they are to be disciplined according to Islamic legal principles. Legal repercussions of anal sex. All legal repercussions pertaining to vaginal sex also apply to anal sex, with the exception of two: oath of abstinence, that is fai'ah. The prohibition of anal intercourse does not negate the validity of an oath of abstinence. We have something we said we call oath of abstinence. We are going to maybe treat it later in the subsequent part, whereby someone claims that he is not going to have an intercourse with his wife again, which is ila'i. We call it ila'i. والذين يؤلون من نسائهم تربص أربعة أشهر فإن فاءوا فإن الله سميع عليم. So that abstinence, if you said that you are not going to engage with any marital affairs with her, and you came back, Fai'u is coming back to engage in the marital affairs with her, which is normal consummation or marital something. But if you said you are not going to have any intercourse with her and you do that through anal intercourse, then it is not going to consider it as you are back from what you said you are not going to do. The second one is thrice divorced woman. It does not influence the ruling regarding a thrice divorced woman returning to her previous husband. What we are saying here, that a woman who is divorced 3 divorces, and the second husband that marries her have an anal intercourse with her and he divorces her, then you, the first husband, it is not permissible for you to marry her again. Still, we will consider that she is not consummated in her marriage. So please, this is very important. So I think we only have 10 minutes remaining. So we are going to stop here and see if you have some questions. If you don't have questions, we continue from start 1. So if there is any question before we move, you can raise your hand and unmute your mic. Any question? So in case start 1, we have conflict resolution, dealing with a wife's arrogance, that is nushuz. Islamic law provides step-by-step approach to resolving conflicts between a wife and husband and wife, particularly when the wife shows signs of arrogance or disobedience. First step is that you advise her. Advise the wife. The husband should advise and remind her of her responsibilities in a kind and gentle manner. You said, "Oh, look, madam, oh, my dear, see what you are doing here. I'm not enjoying what you are doing. I don't like what you are doing. Please stop." If she feels like she wants to stop, then fine. If she is not stopping, then you go to the second step. The second step is season-based relation. That if she persists in her arrogance, the husband may stop sharing a bed with her as a form of corrective discipline. This is stated in the Quran that وَاللَّاتِي تَخَافُونَ نُشُوزَهُنَّ فَإِذُوهُنَّ وَاهْجُرُوهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ وَاضْرِبُوهُنَّ فإن أطعناكم فلا تبغوا عليهن سبيلا إن الله كان عليا كبيرا. So the third step is light discipline. Why we call it light discipline? Because some men are wicked. Some men try to use this opportunity to try to beat their wives, which is very wrong. So it is light discipline. If the situation continues without improvement, the husband is permitted to strike her lightly. The author of Isaiah said, Darban غير مبرهن, that a kind of a strike which is not harmful, something that is not harmful to her. So don't go and gather momentum and give her a blow or slap her or continue to beat the hell out of her. This is not Islam, please. So men should not do that, but only in a manner that does not cause harm. So when you follow all these three steps and no any results, that is escalation of conflict, you don't have results, then appointing arbitrators. If the wife escalate beyond resolution, then Islamic law provides a process for mediation and decision making. Involvement of the judge. You cannot involve a judge. The judge can appoint arbitrators. Then, if the conflict remains unresolved, the judge appoint two arbitrators, one from the husband's family and one from the wife's family. What are the roles of these arbitrators? The arbitrators are tasked with determining the best course of action, whether reconciliation or separation. It must not be reconciliation because sometimes one of the spouses is being cheated. So if one of the spouses is being cheated and there is no any room for reconciliation, then separation should be the answer, because it has been taking place, conflict everywhere, beating, abusing, and all such kind of things. So if there is no reconciliation, or the reconciliation is not the best decision in that aspect, then they should sue separation for them, and their decision is considered binding. So when these arbitrators decided that, look, this marriage cannot continue because of so things that are happening, which is not in line with Islamic perspectives, which is not in line with Islamic family law, then separation should be the best decision. In this case, no matter how the husband loves the wife, no matter how the wife loves the husband, we don't care. Since they cannot reconcile themselves, then separation should be the solution. So, uh, and that is that. So, this is, for instance, if a couple's continuous disagreement over lack of good understanding, which leads to an unsustainable relationship, the arbitrators may suggest a fair division of responsibilities, or in some cases, separation if reconciliation is deemed impossible. So, this is very important. We have to understand this, that it is not all marriage that must be reconciliated, even though we prefer the reconciliation, because you don't know the second husband you are going to marry to, and the wife and the husband, you don't know the second wife or another wife that you are going to marry to. So inshallah, we are going to stop at case 31, so that next week inshallah we'll continue from case 32. As you can see, we are almost half of the book, and we hope you are enjoying the lesson. So if there is questions, we are going to entertain questions. So if you have any question, you can raise up your hand. Upon arrival of the questions, let's not forget with answering of the questions that we used to do the quiz in the group, because with that you will understand whether you are understanding the Islamic family law cases or you are not understanding. So let's try our possible best to see that we are responding to questions, so that whenever you are being asked or you feel a question, then when corrections are being made, it's going to stay with you. It's not going to run from your heart. So please, let's try to be answering questions in the group. So we are still waiting for hands to be raised if there is any question one can ask. Now, Mala Umar Gambata.